Hi friends, today we are going to learn about how to access database from the MULE ESB. So today my agenda is we will discuss about database component available in MULE and different connectivity configurations available to connect to database and different query types available to query the database. So MULE comes with the database connector that facilitates connecting to any JDBC compliant relational database, and using this database you can able to run the SQL queries like select, update, insert, delete, and even you can execute the stored procedures also. In the AnyPoint Studio, this is my database connector available in the MULE component palette, and we see the configuration options of the database connector. MULE, this connector comes with the out-of-box support for Oracle, MySQL and DB databases. For other databases they required a little bit extra configuration. Please refer MULE documentation for the corresponding database. To configure a particular database, we need to add the database related driver file to our build path. If you are configuring the MySQL database, you need to add the MySQL driver, or if you configure Oracle, you need to add the Oracle driver to the build path, or if your project is a Maven based project, you need to add the corresponding driver dependency to your pom.xml. This demo I am connected to the MySQL database, so I added the MySQL driver over here in the pom dependency, so I can able to execute queries on the MySQL database. Now let's see different connectivity configurations available to connect to database from the MULE ESB. See, you can connect to database you giving the configuration parameters like host, port, username and password and the database, and you can connect to database using defining a Spring Bean and giving that data source reference over here, and you can connect to database using the database URL. So there are three types of configuration available. One is giving the configuration parameters directly, all the parameters, and the Spring Bean and the URL. So we saw how you connect to database using this providing the database configuration parameters, host, port, username and password. Now we see how to connect to database using the Spring Bean. For connecting to database using the Spring Bean configuration, we need to provide a class that implements the data source. So here I defined a class dbconfig_details.java. It implements the data source, and in this class there is a method called getConnection, and I implemented this getConnection method that to connect to MySQL database. So we need to configure this class as a Spring Bean. So if you see the configuration XML of this flow, you have a Spring Bean, and this Spring Bean is pointing to the database configuration. So this Spring Bean I can refer in my MySQL configuration, like to see db MySQL config, and the database reference is dbbean. So this is a way you can configure the database using the Spring Bean. And one more way is you can directly give the URL, complete URL that consisting of URL, username and password. Over here, and you can connect to the database. So these are three ways you can configure to database. Now let's see how you can execute queries from your MULE flows to the database. So there are three types of configuration available to execute a query. One is parameterized dynamic queries and template based query. Let's see one by one. Here I developed a demo flow. In the from the browser I will give the query type, which query type I want to execute, either parameter, dynamic or template type. Based on that query type, the flow goes over here, and for each flow I mentioned three different flows: parameter, dynamic and template type. So let's first analyze what is difference between these three and what is the parameter type of query. So in the parameter type of query is like prepared statement that we execute in JDBC. So it is a pre-compiled statement. If you see the parameter configuration, I'm query as defining query like this, and I'm passing the parameter as a MULE expression. So the parameters we can pass as a MULE expression, so that got executed. So in the parameterized query, we can write a query, insert query like this, insert into employees where name is, and we can pass a MULE expression language. See, the difference is you don't put any quotations over here. Simply you can pass the MULE expression language to the query. Coming to a dynamic query, you can define the entire query as a MULE statement. See here, select start from, I'm defining the table name as a MULE statement over here, and the next line I'm defining a part of the query, insert into the table name, values, the parameters, all these things I'm designing as a MULE statement over here. And the third line, I'm complete the entire SQL statement, I'm designing like a MULE statement here. So the dynamic query builds, we can define the query completely in the MULE statement, and we will execute the MULE statement as part. If you see the dynamic query in my demo, see, select start from, I am defining a flow variable like a query. Like if you see the variable where what I declared is, or the query type is, I am sending the query type from my browser. Query type is equal to dynamic, and query type is equal to some parameter like something. So see here, see, I'm sorry, query type defined over here. Query is movie details, where here is to complete the part of the query and define an MULE statement over here, and executing that query here. Select start from, this complete part of this query comes from the MULE statement. So this is the dynamic query. You can dynamically define the queries through MULE expression language statements. See, if you see the configuration.xml in both of the cases, so this is my parameterized subflow, okay, where this is my DB select query part. It is limited to the subflow only. And when it comes to dynamic, so this is my DB query part. This is limited to the subflow only. So here I'm not reusing the queries. If you want to reuse the query across the flows, you need to define it as a template based query. So here I'm defining one template based query. It is above all the flows, so I can reuse this template based query in my flows. So I'm defining a template based query. Come to main flow, and this is my flow template based query. So in the template based query, you define a template, and this is select star from movie details, where hero is equal to, this is a parameter I am passing to the query. I will define this parameter over here, and I am taking this parameter as my query param, one of the query param. So depends upon the query type and depends on input, each query got executed. See, let's see the demo. So from the browser I am firing a query. I am passing two query params. One is hero is equal to diesel, and the query type is equal to template. So here I am executing template type query. So this is my output, and if you want to change the template to dynamic, even the hero is same, so that same output we encountered. So if I change the hero to another hero, so my records got changed. So this way you can configure the three query types: parameterized, dynamic and template based queries. And we can connect to two database using three configuration types. One is directly giving the configuration values, and Spring Beans, and the direct passing the URL. So hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching this video. My name is Prasad.